Hello and happy gaming, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and right now I feel just a little bit like $1,000,000, so maybe like about 10,000 bucks. Wish I were worth that much right now. But allow me to explain. First of all, I had a really good Neon Abyss run this morning, which I've already posted up, by the way, or at least the end of it, so feel free to check that out. 2, I went out shopping for some household supplies, and I found that Sierra Mist is back in stock, so there's my happiness there. 3rd, I have a loud bird. Hi. Yes. I know. You're loud because I'm talking. I know what you're doing. But I'm feeling generally pretty good right now, so this seemed like a good time to give a mono element run a try. Now, I don't remember which mono element runs I've done, but I figured today we'll go ahead and be the Red Lightning, and we're gonna go for a Neve Citrine run, which means that we're going all electricity. So we're using Bolt Rail, Thunderline, Dynamic Disarray, and Dragon Circuit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what to think about Dragon Circuit, so this would be a good time to try it out. And along the way, we're going to be hoping to find other good electric spells. Well, I mean, at least they didn't screw me by putting Atlas in spot number 3. But I mean, putting the Wonder Twins right up in first spot, kind of feels like a fuck you in so many words. Yes, sir, you are loud. I also adjusted the sound balance a little bit after checking out my last episode. Hi, how are you? Good lord. I mean, it's not good, but it is electric. Also, I'm noticing that you're doing that thing where you don't want to enhance any of my Arcana, so thanks, Iris. I don't want Bewitching Glue, thank you very much. And I will definitely pay for your services. That's a little bit more health, a little bit more run speed, a little bit more critical chance, a little bit more damage. And it basically just gave me a little of everything. God, I hate rogues. Alright. The one problem I'm going to have with going the all lightning route is, of course... Oh, hello. Hello, Naya. If I can afford to have her come with me, I will, of course. The one problem, of course, is that you're... And this is true with any mono element run, of course, is that you're locked in without a lot of versatility to what you're going to be effective against. And I was kind of hoping to see Freya's area show up, but at the very least, I was really hoping not to see Atlas, and for once, that's the case. Ow, sorry. But of the spells that I would really like to see, I would like to see Bouncing Surge, of course, but I already have one Bouncer, so barring that, maybe something just a little bit more power and control, like upgraded Shock Nova wouldn't be bad. Well, matter of fact, getting anything upgraded would be nice right now. It's just At the moment, I feel like I'm being just a little bit too harshly restricted. But that's mono element runs in a nutshell for you. And because of the nature of electric spells in general, I'm very much looking forward to upping my critical hit chance. And of course, because of the floor that I started on, I'm just getting my ass kicked because the elemental enemies... Hey, could you maybe not do that? Completely forgot about Naya. Oh well. Ooh, I see a present. Someone remembered it was my birthday! Not really, but... Hello. Okay, so Dragon Circuit actually makes a pretty neat signature. Alright, so it looks like the theme here is artifacts that have an effect upon taking damage. Release a burst of lightning. Poisonous rooting vines. Evade all attacks. Okay, so there's a lot here I can probably... hello, what was that? Once again, my Bluetooth controller is acting stupid. Like, there's a part of me that's thinking I should maybe consider getting a different wired controller, since this seems to be being since this seems to be becoming an issue, as is my inability to speak English. But at least one of those I can spin for comedy effect. One of those is just, you're walking into a wall now, you don't know when you'll stop. Oh, hello, Thunder Drop. So I like this because not only is it powerful, but it also gives me an alternate movement option, which I'm totally down for. And what the hell, why not? Give me the Sleepy Thunderstone. What the hell, it's all thunder all the time. I will control the storm. Yeah, this is starting to feel a little bit better. Alright. So, that's pretty much just going to be the theme of this run, is that I'm just going to take all the electricity I can, and we're going to control this goddamn storm. I'm a raging storm of emotion! Well, I mean, that's garbage, but I mean, it activates Neve's Citrine really early. So, I was going to say, that went about as well as it possibly could. So that means I have increased critical hit chance by about 20%, and all of my Arcana shock now. The obvious answer to that is to go, shocking! Why aren't you dead? Well, you see, that would be because my metabolic functions are still active, and I didn't mean a literal explanation. Beautiful. Alright. So now at this point, what I'd really be looking for is just things that would give me a bit of a synergy. And I will take this token of health. Hopefully Dr. Song's got something good for me, like the critical placebos would be nice. Boom, 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 boom! Oh yeah! Feels good controlling all this electricity. It's giving me an abundance of energy. Alright, so this is probably going to be the fight that takes the longest, just because they're going to resist literally everything I have, because they're the lightning. They, of course, resist their own element. And even still, I'm doing pretty decent damage thanks to general critical hit and damage ups. There we go. With any luck, I can 3-cycle this, but I don't know. Oh yeah, 3-cycle, perfect. And obviously I would have preferred to have gotten it done faster, but what can you say? Sorry, no knockout boulder for me today. It's all lightning all the time here at the Storm Mage channel. Don't Storm Mages also use water, wind, and ice? Yeah, but you see, I have to be very selective because of Neve's Citrine. Speaking of Storm Mages, I believe that's the direction I'm going to be taking my character of Lucy in our D&D game. She is currently just a straight-up lightning elementalist, but I have expressed to... hey, stop with this... What is up with the wonky Bluetooth connection here? I ask one thing of you, controller, and that is that you function properly. Don't make me regret things. Sorry, the way my controller is acting is really throwing me off. I very rarely have problems with it, and this seems like one of the bigger issues I've had with it in a while. It's making me think that I need to go find another wired controller, preferably one. I love it. And I don't necessarily need to have all lightning for that to be a thing, but I'll be damned does it help. Now, like I was saying, before I got completely thrown off by the idea that my controller is just kind of doing whatever it wants, which is really bugging me. That works. Somehow that hit. But yeah, right now she's just a straight-up lightning elementalist, but I've already talked with my DM about altering her class to that of a storm mage, which is highly lightning-focused anyway. And what that'll do is it'll give her access to water, wind, and ice magic as well. And then just all sorts of fun controlling the weather. But there's another thing I wanted to do with the character. Go figure, I actually have plans for what to do with the character. Hello, Doctor. I will donate this token of health. Catalytic tonic. Okay, so not exactly what I wanted, but I'm also not going to complain too loudly either. I mean, it's still the doctor giving me help. I always appreciate Dr. Song's help. But the other plan I had in mind for her is she is a gnome that started off as a rather high-ranking engineer. And when I say high-ranking, I don't mean like, oh my god, she's so awesome, you guys. I mean she has a high intelligence score and she puts it to good use. So with that, I figured, okay, maybe if I allow her the ability to work with computers and robotics, I can build myself a power armor. Nothing fancy, just like the Final Fantasy VI Magitech armor, that's all. But so far, our DM has been real cool about it. He's kind of on board with seeing what I do with this character, so I am going to take Ball Lightning. It's just better than that. Sorry. I may very well decide that I want to stick with Volt Pinball, but as of right now, I want to at least give Ball Lightning a chance to shine. So that's currently what I'm working on for that character, is just taking that ridiculous direction and just running with it. The thought being, of course, is that she herself is not the most physically adept of beings. I mean, she's a gnome after all. Gnomes aren't exactly known for their physical strength. So what I'm going to do is make it so that her power armor is essentially her answer to that. And because because it was okay to start with essentially an ability that allows her to use magnetic abilities, the heavy power armor will actually help her by allowing her to use that magnetic force on her own armor to allow her things like flight and better movement control. Okay, I'm really wondering if the problem is the Bluetooth or if I'm just running low on battery. Maybe I should charge this controller a bit before I use it again. Oh, there's the Volt Pinball upgrade. I mean, I definitely want it. It's the second time I've seen Crashing Meteor in the store as well. What is going on here? And I'm definitely going to upgrade my dash. Suckers. There we go. Loving it. Yeah, I'd say this build has come together quite nicely. Yeah, I bet you thought you had me there, didn't you, Mr. Mimic? Oh, we'll definitely take that. Now, Puffy Parka seems like it's an almost absolute must. And I'm hoping I find it. But even if I don't find it, I'd say I'm having a fine time with things just as they are. Oh, hello, Dead End. Gee, thanks for being right there for me when I needed you the least. Pardon me. So I hope all of that comes together. She's a really interesting character, and if I haven't explained this already, Gnomes were kind of on the player character race's shit list for a while because of, let's just say, really stupid people. Let's see if I can afford to take that after I've done this, because I still want to upgrade... I still want to upgrade the... what is it? Thunderline? Ooh, Royal Flush. Alright, so that is going to make it so that all of my attacks do another plus 20% base damage. So, let's say we're well on our way here. Alright, so that's garbage. We'll replace it with the Starchy Parachute. Upgrade our dash. We're making good use of our money this time, though. I'll say this much. And shocks for a longer duration. I love it. Oh, there was a critical heal there. Alright, I guess Catalytic Tonic isn't a complete waste. I mean, to be fair, it's mostly one. Okay, thanks, L Button. Thank you for doing exactly what I wanted you to do. Wow, I just suck. Oh, look at that. Got him before he could even get off his signature. Ooh, feeling powerful. See, this is the sort of mono element run you want to see. You get your jewel. You get your jewel up and running real early on. Then you find Royal Flush. Then at that point it almost doesn't matter what you have because you've kind of already broken the game at that point. But, you know, not every mono-element run goes like that. I've showed you guys some mono-element runs that have just been complete garbage fires. But the ones that work well work out really well, and this is one of the ones that is, with the exception of a damn exploding barrel, worked out very well. And just finding Royal Flush has just made this all the better. Okay, now we get Luxury Handbag even. Oh my goodness. Okay, well I don't need both Kasim's Airy Cloak and the Stygian Turtle Shell, so we're gonna drop the Stygian Turtle Shell and take the Luxury Handbag. I mean, our defenses are already pretty sky high, so let's balance out our defense and our offense. This is one of those runs that I knew was going to be a one run really early on, when the game basically allowed me to have my Neve Citrine bonus like right off the bat. Oh baby. So I realized that I might have... Oh, now that shows up. Okay, I already paid for it. You know, with both money and blood. spells to regen? Never mind. Who needs to take the thoughtful approach to fighting? I was about to say, what is that rolling ball of magma doing walking towards me? Oh, it's a fire knight. Oh, man. Either I have a vivid imagination or I'm an idiot. Or both. Both is also a possibility. God. You can't stop me, I am Thunder personified! Even more so now that I can upgrade one of these two, and I'm thinking Dynamic Disarray is the one I give the nod. Why does it seem like my Bluetooth signal is just getting scrambled all the time here? Okay, I'm definitely going to have to charge this baby up. I honestly don't think it's low battery, but I do think it starts to perform worse at low battery. In the meantime, I'll have to consider getting another wired controller, just so I don't have to keep putting up with wonky Bluetooth connections. I mean, regardless, I still feel I'm doing very well, even with the questionable Bluetooth controller. I still think I'm doing pretty darn well. All right, moving onwards. So you're probably wondering why exactly it is that gnomes were on our racial blacklist for a while. So we have a rule in our games. You can pretty much play whatever you want, but if it's a race that rarely or ever gets played in our games, then your behaviors are going to form the basis for what the races are like in our games. And the first time that someone played a gnome in one of our games, they thought it was a bright idea to cartoonishly load themselves into their own longbow and try to fire themselves across a chasm instead of, you know, using magic or looking for another way across or anything like that. Because, I mean, let's be fair, D&D is a game of possibilities. We're not just going to tell you, no, you can't do that. No, we want you to have a chance to play however you want. And I believe in one of Pro Jared's D&D December videos, he even said as much, that you shouldn't tell your players just straight up no. And I tend to agree with that philosophy. So, but that doesn't mean that we just let everything go with like a, yeah, that's awesome! Because sometimes players come up with really bad ideas. Let's just be really fair about this. You need your players, but it doesn't mean that all of their ideas are friggin' amazing. So we gave the guy a few chances to course correct, but to be fair, this was a really young player. It was his first time playing D&D, and we wanted to make sure that we drove the point home that we weren't going to tell him no, but we were going to let him know that this course of action was not wise. So we told him, hey, are you sure you want to do that? And he was completely gung-ho. We reiterate to him that there are probably other ways to do this. Are you sure this is a good idea? He says, yeah. So we have him make his first stat check. It's like, all right, we're gonna give you a dex save to make sure that this works properly, and it was a critical fumble. So we ask him one more time, are you sure you want to go through with this? Because at this point we're thinking, oh god, this is looking like a disaster, but if he decides to abandon ship after a critical fumble, at the very least we might be able to save the situation. So we ask him one more time, are you absolutely sure you want to go through with this? Because this is looking like it's a disaster in the making. He still says yes, so okay, we have him then roll Constitution. Alright, Constitution save. Maybe even though you screwed up, you know, with the loading process, because, you know, you're not supposed to load human beings into a bow, because, you know, they not only were they not designed for it, but frankly you weren't designed for it. But okay, let's give him another shot. Let's not be complete jerks. Let's see if we can make this happen. So roll Constitution. Let's see if we can save this. Critical fail. We're like, oh my god, are you fucking serious? Alright, we're gonna try one more time to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because at this point, there's no doubt he's gonna hurt himself, and, you know, bad at that. And at that. Oh my god, look at that damage. That was amazing! Alright, so there's no doubt he's at least taking some self-inflicted damage, but we figure, okay, maybe if he at least passes an attack roll. And it wasn't even a difficult attack roll to make. It's like you're aiming for a huge slab of earth on the other side of this chasm. So hopefully one would think that wouldn't be the most difficult thing in the world. And by all rights, it wasn't. But I mean, let's be fair, luck was not on this person's side. So we have him do the attack roll. It's like, we can still save this. Pass your attack roll. Critical fail. So at this point, we now have him loading himself into his longbow. Ow. So we have him loading himself into his longbow, slipping, and then his physical constitution failing while simultaneously completely missing what he was aiming for. So the explanation for that was, you make the attempt, you slip, the bowstring literally cuts you in half from the groin up, and you end up falling all the way down the chasm and into the canyon below. And this became the explanation for how gnomes went extinct, as it was just this strange sort of coming-of-age ceremony where gnomes would take to nearby cliff sides and just fire themselves out of longbows to prove that they had what it took to be adults in the big world. And if that sounds really unfair to you, well, remember, that's just kind of how the rule works. See, up until then, we had people playing every race under the sun except for gnomes, and that's mostly because people either wanted strength, constitution, or dexterity bonuses. So we were seeing elves and dwarves in high numbers. We, however, were not seeing people who wanted to play a race that had an intelligence bonus, so, you know, no gnomes. It's ironic that it was the race that got the intelligence bonus that ended up having that happen to them. Owie. God, I hate Frost, man. I ended up losing this just because I can't reach him in time to hit him when he's doing his bullshit. Okay, so that was a stressful final battle, but everything up until then was great. So, that is the story of how gnomes practically went extinct in our world. And I came by and retconned it because I wanted to play gnomes, because I like playing intelligent spellcasting characters. And we described the whole firing yourself out of a longbow off the side of a cliff thing as essentially a fungal infection, yes, very much The Last of Us, I know, that attaches itself to your head and rots your brain out, and basically makes you do stupid things. So, there you go. Gnomes are alive and well in our world again, but I still maintain to the idea that they are a sort of rare species because they nearly went extinct. So, not only are gnomes alive and well in our game world, but they also have a bit of mystique to them, which I think is really interesting. But that would be my story, and subsequently the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching and spending some time with me. Drop a like, leave a comment, hell, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Every little bit helps me out, as I would very much love to be able to do this as more of a full-time thing. So again, thank you very much, I appreciate your time, and you will see me in another video. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.